Beneath 4 kilometers of pure ice, buried in the frozen heart of Antarctica, there is a lake that has been isolated from the world for more than 20 million years. A lake where time stopped, where no light reaches, no oxygen exists, and the pressure is so extreme it would destroy any known terrestrial life form. And yet, there is life. Or at least, that's what those who dared to drill into its depths claim. Today on Mapa Maldito, we travel to one of the most inaccessible and secret places on the planet. Because beneath the Russian Vostok station lies a lake that could change everything we think we know about the origin of life, the limits of our planet, and what is being hidden from us. Welcome to Lake Vostok, the subglacial lake that has remained sealed for 20 million years. It all began in 1957, in the midst of the Cold War, when the Soviet Union built the Vostok station in one of the most remote and hostile points in Antarctica. It wasn't by chance. They chose the spot farthest from any coast, where temperatures can reach 89 degrees Celsius, the coldest ever recorded on Earth. But what the Soviets didn't know was that, right beneath their feet, a colossus had been sleeping for millions of years. A subglacial lake the size of Lebanon, completely sealed under an ice dome nearly 4,000 meters thick. It wasn't until the 1970s that scientists began to suspect its existence, thanks to anomalous seismic readings. But in 1996, thanks to satellite radar images and gravimetric studies, it was confirmed, beneath the ice, there was a body of liquid water, stretching more than 250 kilometers long and 50 kilometers wide. How is it possible for a lake to remain in liquid form under such extreme temperatures? The answer leads us into the mystery. The pressure of the upper ice layers, combined with the geothermal heat rising from inside the Earth, prevents the water from freezing. Additionally, the lake is completely sealed off from the outside, with no connection to the ocean, the atmosphere, or modern life. It is, literally, trapped in time. And that's what makes it one of the most fascinating and disturbing natural laboratories on the planet. Scientists knew. If it was drilled incorrectly, it would be irreversibly contaminated, but if done right, it could reveal completely unknown life forms. Perhaps similar to what we might find on moons like Europa or Enceladus. The problem is that, from the beginning, the project was surrounded by secrecy. In 1998, when the Russians were about to reach the lake's surface with their drill, the international scientific community forced them to stop. The official reason? Risk of contamination, but many believe what they really stopped was something that should never come out. For years, the drilling was paused. Until 2012, when Russia announced they had finally reached the water of Lake Vostok. And that's when the real enigma began. The first leaked analyses, because they were never fully published, spoke of bacteria never seen before, organisms with DNA that didn't match anything in the known record. Some Russian media claimed that 86% of the genetic material detected had no matches with any known living being. The international scientific community reacted with skepticism. Many dismissed it as drill contamination. But others, more cautious, began to wonder, what if we really found a parallel biosphere? A separate evolution, developing for millions of years under the ice, unaware of everything we know. And here is where the mystery deepens. Because after that announcement, Russia stopped reporting. No more data was published. No samples were shared. And for years, the research fell into silence. Some blame bureaucracy. Others say the discoveries are too sensitive. There are theories, of course. Many. One of the most unsettling suggests that Lake Vostok could harbor extremophile life forms, capable of surviving without oxygen, without light, and under immense pressure. Life forms based on alternative chemistry, like methane or sulfur, similar to what we expect to find on habitable exoplanets. This would have enormous implications for astrobiology. But also a risk. What if something comes out of the lake? A microorganism with unknown capabilities? A primitive yet lethal pathogen? A frozen species we were never meant to awaken? The more conspiratorial go further. They claim the Russians found artificial structures at the bottom of the lake. That the radar-detected shapes weren't entirely natural. Some have even speculated that beneath Vostok, there could be a secret base built during World War II, or even earlier. Exaggerated? Maybe. But there are unsettling facts. For years, satellite images have shown geometric structures and rectangular thawed areas around the Vostok station. The Russians attribute it to the base's normal operations, but some experts point out that certain areas appear unnaturally arranged. And then, there are the testimonies. In 2001, an American technician who worked on a joint expedition with the Russians, and who requested to remain anonymous, claimed they had heard noises beneath the ice. Bangs. Vibrations. Frequencies that seemed to follow a pattern. The story was quickly discredited. But since then, every new attempt to drill into the lake has been met with silence and secrecy. Today, more than a decade after first contact with Lake Vostok, we still don't know exactly what was found. What we do know is that Antarctica is full of secrets. And that Vostok is not the only subglacial lake hiding mysteries. There are over 400 lakes buried beneath the frozen continent. Each with its own story. Each one, sealed for millions of years. Is Vostok a time capsule? Proof that life can exist in the most extreme places? Or something else? A boundary we were never meant to cross? The authorities won't say. But the ice remembers. And some believe that, deep down, something is waiting. Something that survived in the darkness. Something that did not evolve with us. Something that could change everything. If this journey to the most isolated and silent place on Earth has fascinated you, don't forget to subscribe to Sinister Maps. Here we unearth the secrets the world wants to forget. Forbidden islands, ghost cities, sealed doors beneath the ice. Real places, where mystery isn't just a story, it's a warning. See you in the next episode. But remember, not everything buried is dead. And not everything frozen is asleep.